A K-9 cop kills an innocent man for a false burglary call, and the police, well, they think it's funny. Put it a full mask. Hell of a thing. I'm taking you to Alabama. The family of Mr. Joseph Lee Pettaway has filed an appeal after a judge decided to dismiss a lawsuit against the city of Montgomery in Alabama, stemming from an incident where police allowed a police dog to attack and kill Mr. Joseph Lee Pettaway, even though he committed no crime. Mr. Pettaway, 51, died from a torn femoral artery. That's according to his attorney, Griffin Sykes Jr. Now, the headline is going to say the K-9 did the killing. The K-9 carried out the killing, but the police did the killing. Bottom line. And if K-9s are considered trained officers, that's what the culture of policing would tell you. That means the police did it. I'm giving you some insight into their attempted narrative to distinguish between the K-9 and the officer. There's more. The incident took place during the early hours of July 8th, 2018, after Montgomery police received a call from a man named Gary Dixon. Mr. Dixon reported an intruder inside of his home, not realizing it was his friend and his co-worker, Mr. Pettaway. Pettaway and the man, along with another man named James Jones, had been hired to repair a dilapidated house that had been vacant for some time. So they were installing new floor. You got sheetrock. On July 7th, the men spent the entire day working on the house, then had a backyard barbecue that evening. After the get-together, Mr. Pettaway and Mr. Jones left the home while Mr. Dixon decided to spend the night. At around 3 a.m. the following morning, Pettaway returned to the home, knocked before entering the home, rousing Mr. Dixon from his sleep, who believed it was an intruder because he was not expecting Mr. Pettaway to return. So you have the makings of a misunderstanding. At this point, there's more. Dixon left the home, called the police. So he runs out. He calls the police. 5 officers arrive, including Nicholas D. Barber, who arrived with a K-9. The officers surrounded the house, but made no attempt to communicate with anybody inside. This is according to the written appeal. Minutes later, Nicholas D. Barber opened the front door and allowed his police dog inside the home. Once again, no communication has been made. The police dog found Mr. Pettaway underneath a bed and bit into his thigh, refusing to let go. Quote, the dog found Mr. Pettaway under bed at 3:15 a.m. and attacked him with its teeth, the appeal states. Quote, the dog locked its teeth into Mr. Pettaway's left thigh or crotch, where his legs meet his torso. As the dog tenaciously held its bite for almost 2 minutes, the dog shook its head, driving its teeth deeper into Mr. Pettaway and rupturing his femoral artery. This is why I say the police did the killing. They utilized the dog to carry out the killing. Already, protocols are violated here by the police. There's an argument to be made that K-9 should not be used in policing in the first place. But there's more. By the time Mr. Barber pulled the dog away, Mr. Petaway was already unconscious. The cops then dragged the bloodied black man outside of the house, left him on the sidewalk where they stood around mocking him. Quote, 4 to 5 police officers are standing directly over Mr. Petaway's unconscious body, illuminating him lying on the sidewalk with their flashlights while his blood pools underneath him. Sykes Jr. said in the email interview with Atlanta Black Star, quote, while standing there, the cops can be heard joking and laughing. Now, one states, I guess he's okay. To which another cop replies, well, okay is a relative term. He's still breathing, after which there is laughter. And otherwise, crack, quote, I bet he's rethinking all his life decisions right now. Again, drawing a round of laughs from the government employees known as cops. So not only did a city police prohibit the officers from rendering aid, city policy, they demonstrated no concern that Petaway was dying, assuming he was guilty based on a phone call from a man who had mistakenly called them. You have a depraved mind. You have multiple depraved minds. You have, in my opinion, an after story that is indicative of the either neglect or malicious action before they decided to show their disregard for humanity. But it fits. They didn't care about establishing protocol. They didn't care about making sure there was communication established prior to entering. They did not care to even enter the premises themselves. They just sent the dog in. That's it. Hell, they don't care about the dog. Body camera footage showing a police dog attacking and killing an innocent black man is so gruesome and shocking that an Alabama judge has blocked its release to the public, claiming it could lead to civil unrest. Can we just pause on that moment? We've seen a grown man being killed in broad daylight in front of a crowd, recorded over and over again. We saw this. We have seen children be shot by police officers. You can go online now, that footage still exists. So this judge is saying that the footage he saw was so gruesome that obviously it would cause civil unrest. And I don't think he means of the common type. Gives you an idea of how gruesome this is. So he blocked the release, okay? But those who have watched it, say Montgomery police, not only allowed the dog inside a house to attack the man who had committed no crime. Several cops stood around as he was dying, mocking and laughing at him while refusing to provide life-saving aid because they were prohibited from doing so by department policy. Now you want to follow policy. Now you know how to follow a rule book. All of a sudden, you're the policy police. You by the book. If you want to be treated like heroes, act like one. It seems as if policies apply to the bias of your character. If a human being is dying, there is no policy on this earth that will stop me from trying to save them. You all are sworn protectors, man. You killed a man, violated policy to kill him, but refused to violate policy to save him. Instead, they waited for paramedics to come. As a result, Joseph Lee Pettaway, 51, died from that dog bite. According to his attorney, Griffin Sykes Jr., who filed an appeal last week in federal court after district judge dismissed the lawsuit against the city of Montgomery. Quote, the video is horrendous, Attorney Sykes said in an email interview with Atlanta Black Star, describing multiple Montgomery police officers standing around Pettaway, cracking jokes as he lay dying. Quote, if you could see it, you would understand why the city fought so hard to prevent its release. End quote. The main argument of the appeal is that the city is responsible for Mr. Pettaway's death because not only did it not train officers to render first aid, but it has an actual policy that forbids an officer from rendering aid to citizens they injure if they have no prior medical training. That is open and shut. Not only did you not do it, it's in writing that you're not allowed to do it unless you have training. So you don't have the training. You have a negligent retention. Had those officers been trained, they could have saved his life by simply applying pressure to stop the bleeding. That's all they had to do. That's it. If they would have done that within 5 minutes of the injury, according to 2 medical doctors who testified in the case, including the state medical examiner who conducted the autopsy. State medical examiners is one of them. It's a government guy. Instead, it took 14 minutes for paramedics to arrive, which was simply way too late to save his life. Put up the leadership. You have Chief James Grabois of Montgomery Police Department. You also have Chief U.S. District Judge Emily C. Marks. Judge Marks denied Joseph Pettaway's family a motion asking her to remove the confidentiality designation from police body cam. What they don't want you to see is not the killing. I need you to understand what they're doing. They're not blocking the video because a black man died who should be alive. They release those on a routine Monday. They're blocking the video because they don't want you to see the culture of true policing. They don't want you to hear how they talked about a man that was bleeding out in front of all of them. That's what they're protecting. All right, Sharon, thoughts here?
It's another one, Doc, and you're right. And anybody who doesn't have medical training, I don't know why you would be in uniform anyway. You're not qualified. That's not about, well, the medics and the police are supposed to, they're first responders and they're supposed to have a level of medical training. And it's really dumb, this policy that is there. You're right. They're not like us, okay? Somebody I despise, I wouldn't want to sit there and watch them die. And then I'm sure they went and they ate something and had coffee and called wives, girlfriends, whatever, talked to kids. I would be inconsolable and not able to sleep thinking about what I have just done. And I'm talking about even if it's a bad guy, okay?
Right.
So this is what we're dealing with. And it is pretty disgusting.
Yeah, it gives you an idea of the internal workings of culture.
Culture, yes.
Doesn't matter what the law is if the culture is adverse to it.